Hey there, and today we're checking out graphing linear inequalities. We've already gone ahead and graphed the equations of just lines, but now we have some inequality signs, like we see a greater than or equal to sign, we have a less than or equal to sign, we have a greater than sign, and we have another greater than sign, and we're going to see a couple more as we go through. So the first thing you can do is you can almost pretend that these are just y equals if you want, and graph what you know about slope and y-intercept. So if I pretend that this is y equals 3x plus 4, sorry, there's a negative out front, I'm just going to pretend that I graph that, like, oh, I have a y-intercept at 4. My slope is negative 3, so I go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, and I have my line. Now as I'm graphing this right here, this has an equal to, so I can go ahead and fill in that line that it's equal to. And then it also says greater than, which means I am talking about the y direction. This is y is greater than, so y is up and down. So I'm going to be shading either above this line or below it. Not left and right, above or below. So because it is y is greater than, I'm going to be shading above that point and above that point and above that point. There are infinity answers. Not everything is an answer, not all solutions, but there are a bunch of answers, and they are all the points that are over here in this shaded area. So we just go ahead and shade that area to show that all of those points are solutions. Cool, on the next one, we can basically pretend this is y equals a 3/5 x minus 5. Go ahead and plot your y-intercept down at negative 5. Plot your slope of up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You only need 2 points to make a line. This is an equal then. Y is less than or equal to, so I can equal to this line. We'll talk in a second about if it's not equal to. And then as I go to shade this, this says y is less than. So check out the y direction. Am I going up or down? Well, it says less than, so I'll be shading down. So there are a bunch of answers down here. We show all those points by simply going ahead and shading in that area. All right, cool. On our next one, we have a y is less than, but it is not equal to. So I recommend you can imagine it like this, but it is not equal to. So if you learned about inequalities before and plotting points, this symbol right here basically means it's not equal to, so I cannot fill in the answer. Think about like a Scantron or a multiple choice with options A, B, C, and D, right? If I fill in the answer is D, it is an answer, and these are not an answer, not an answer, not an answer. So on this problem where we have y is less than, these are not going to be answers. So watch what I do when I go and plot this graph. Negative 5 is the y-intercept. Open dot instead of a closed dot. Now I do the slope is negative 1x. That means I go down 1, and I have another point. So when you have open points on your graph, this means it's going to be an open line or a dashed line or a dotted line, whatever you want to call it. And then we go over to our shading. Y is greater than. So we are going y is greater than, that is up, and we are shading everything that is greater than that line, so above. And there are all my answers up there. Cool, the next one has a couple little tricks to it. It is a y is greater than, and we don't see that equal to sign. And we also don't see the slope, so I would recommend putting like a plus 0x there. So these are going to be open dots. So I'll go ahead and I'll plot the y-intercept at negative 4, open dot. And then the slope is a 0, meaning that it is a flat line. It is not changing in the y direction, and that is a dashed line or a dotted line. I don't have to make all the dots, but I can make a couple there if it helps me out, or I can keep going. Open dots, so open line. Those are not answers. Where are the answers? The answers are y is greater than. So we're going in the y direction, greater, and we are going up. So we have all the shaded answers that are up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just make some notes about the last two before I get started, just so you have a different type of strategy as you are solving the problem, or as you're graphing the problem, sorry. Y is greater than. I'm going to go ahead and make an above note. There's not an equal sign, so open dots. So I got shading above and open dots. I'm going to go over to number 6. Y is greater than, that is above. Y is equal to, those are filled in dots or closed dots. Okay. That just gives me a little heads up. Now I can go ahead and do my slope and y-intercept like we've done earlier in the chapter. Y-intercept is -5, and it said open dot, so at -5 I got an open dot. My slope is a +2, so I go up 2, over 1, up 2, up 2, up 2 for every x. So open dots mean open line, dashed line, and it is shading above. So as I grab my highlighter here, y is greater than, I am shading above, up towards that y. Above the line, and then all the way above the line over here as well. Cool, we'll finish up the last one. We have filled in dots on this one, so I can almost pretend it's just y equal to 7/4 x plus 2. Fill in the dot at 2. Slope is up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yikes, I'm kind of way over there. What if I did this the other way? 7/4 is the same thing as -7 over -4. So I could go down 7, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then go back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a little trick that you may not have learned in another class, but a positive over a positive is the same thing as a negative over negative, so I kind of ran out of room there. But if I connect that line, that would go ahead and meet up with that point that was off the graph. So I got filled in dots, and we have our shading, which again is y is greater than, so I'm above the line. We had a lot of greater thans today, so maybe you want some extra practice on the less thans. Again, less than would be finding the y's on the bottom. But there are our answers for our 6 problems, and we were graphing linear inequalities like we had at the top. Sketch the graph of each linear inequality. Again, if I wanted to go back and make a couple quick notes, I could do some things like closed dots and above, and I can double check. Yep, we had closed dots and we shaded above that graph. On this one, we had closed dots because it's equal to, and this one was less than or below. So you can make whatever kind of notes you need. We do have closed dots, and then we have shaded less than. Cool. And if I go finish off, just again some mental notes on these other ones. Do I have open dots because there's no equal sign? And yep, I got open dots there. And y is greater than, so that is above. And we had open dots. We already made that note. And y is greater than, so that one was also above.